Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an All You Can Geek Gamecast. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod,
Ahoy.
and Tony Coconut.
Hey.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers. Right now, we are live on Twitch, Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. Please join us for the movie cast. We just finished it. Gamecast, bonus rounds. This is the last podcast for us for 2024. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and also Happy New Year if, we don't hear from us then. But this is the last one for 2024.
No New Year's
folks,
podcast?
I don't know
New
yet.
Year's Eve
About
podcast?
New Year's. No, I can't do New Year's Eve, obviously. New Year's Day, maybe we can put something together. We'll have to figure that out. So, we'll see. So, anyways, folks, welcome to the podcast. We're gonna get into what we've been up to. I can lead us. I can kick us off here because I have ADHD when it comes to playing video games, so I just like to try the new shiny thing. The cool part is my Fire Stick has become my Xbox. That's an Xbox, for those wondering. So I got to subscribe. I have
Indiana Jones. Just fucking say it, man.
Yeah, I got to play Indiana Jones. I subscribed.
Don't need to draw it out.
Got my controller, which I never traded in. Remember, it worked out great. My Steam Deck has the Game Pass installed on it as well, so I can play this game over there too. I played Indiana Jones. Has anybody else started this yet? Mike, did you get started?
I have started it just recently.
Good.
After I finished watching the movies to catch up.
Guys, I would say I'm quite enjoying this game, like a lot. I really think this is a fun game. Like technically, and I think I talked about it, Corey, you were there at that. We did a little football watch party, and I talked about this game with guys, and it's best described as like mechanically, technically, this game is not great in terms of like combat. It's not great in terms of just like constant moving. It's a little bit clunky. It's not awesome, but it's fantastic. It's got a charm. It's got the Indiana Jones is not a professional fighter. Like he gets the crap beat out of him. Mike just watched these movies. Like it's constant. And like there's times where you're throwing a punch and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, whoops, and you do it. Like, I want to throw a punch, but I'm like, your timing's off, and it's just like it's all based on blocks and parries and punches and the thunk sounds, and it's like you get your crap beat out of you.
Wait, you have to parry.
And that's what happens.
You have to parry in Indiana Jones.
You don't have to parry.
Parrying is an option in Indiana Jones.
Yes, correct. So, but it is like awesome. Like this has captured the Indiana Jones like franchise better than the last two movies ever could have. It has so far. I'm only 1/3 through it, or almost. I'm in the second part. It's I don't know if I'm third or halfway through, but it's like very good story. It brings a smile to your face when you're playing it sometimes because it's just like you get to play some original stuff on it. Mike, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You get to play through some of the iconic sequences in that movie.
Something that was very familiar to me.
You just watched it.
Yeah,
it's the tutorial. It's the tutorial. Like I can spoil it now. You play
Raiders. Hold on, the boulder thing.
Yeah, you play the whole sequence, from the beginning all the way through, and it's like the tutorial of the game.
Jesus Christ.
It's fantastic. Like this game is so much fun right now. I mean, very much enjoying it.
Do you do something? Games like they did the Wolfenstein games, and I love the Wolfenstein games. I think they did a very good job of storytelling with not necessarily the greatest gameplay, but combining the things together to make an interesting game.
Yeah,
and
the puzzles are fun. I
really enjoy translating like into an Indiana Jones game. It just seems like an odd fit for the developer, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. I don't have any interest in this myself, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it, is what I'm saying. Because
you
can play it on pretty much anything.
To the run from the boulder thing, do you actually have to do something other than hold like the thumbstick?
Oh no, that's the end of the sequence. But it's like the rest of it is teaching you the game. Yeah.
What's the gameplay portion of that then?
You build all the way into it, like disarm traps, balance the bag of sand.
That's a mechanic.
Yeah, basically
the whip. The whip, you have to learn the whip, like how you can whip across things and swings. Yeah.
Swing and run and crouch.
Yep.
It's all very basic stuff because it's a tutorial. Yeah.
It's a tutorial.
So that's neat. Sure. That's great.
And then just the opening sequence playing for me after that, like the part of the game, like I just had the smile on my face when, it has the classic. It's just Indiana Jones. It's Indiana Jones, and it is better than.
Did you see the Dial Destiny?
Did I? Yeah, I did see that
That,
last. Yes, I did watch it.
that
Yes,
I haven't watched.
it
I
is
might.
better. It is. I mean, I'm only a third into it, so I can't say it's going to be finished this way. But let me finish the game first before I say, hey, it's better than all of it. But
No, I'm just
it's
gonna ask.
definitely started off
Yeah.
better. But
Okay, that's fine.
you're not starting. You're not starting at like. You're not starting here off the charts. You're starting, down here. But I will say this is one of the best feels of Indiana Jones since the first
good.
three movies. So yeah,
Awesome.
very impressed. Very impressed with it. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, I'm pretty early in it. I'm in like the first big open area. Um,
Are you out of? Are
and
you?
it's
Did you travel yet? Did you travel to the
I
Italy?
I traveled. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I just want to be. I'm
I
trying to be
guess.
vague, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yes, I'm in Italy, and it's a little overwhelming at first.
That's a
I'm
lot.
surprised how
Yeah.
quickly they unleashed you in the open area, and now I'm getting all these like side quests, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm surprised how much you can like just climb on roofs.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're just on top of everything. No one seems to give a shit, unless
The
they
AI
do.
is not
Every
great.
night.
Like I said, this is just a charm game. It does well. It works. It works. Tony's giving me that side eye thing, but it
Oh,
works.
I've been ignoring Tony for this whole thing. He's full force right now. It's not worth it. Anyway, no, it's fun. I don't know. The problem for me right now is another game has my hook. Its hooks in me a little more right now, so I'm not gonna rush through it, which is fine. I like the environments are fun to explore. It's definitely one of those visually dense games where you sort of feel the setting of each area, especially early on when you're in a certain location that's I wouldn't say iconic, but important to Indiana Jones. It was fun to explore there, and I do kind of wish I didn't know it was Troy Baker because I can hear him a little bit. I know everyone
Every
said
now and again. Every now and
that
again. Like, he does a very
he
good
does
impression. Yeah.
yes. I kind of wish I didn't know it was him because I kind of know it's him in a way where it's obviously very close and good, but I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't listen to a podcast where he talked all the time for like a year or two. But um, anyway, no, I really like it, and we'll see how. Because none of the gameplay has been intensive yet. I chose hard because it seemed like there's 4 settings, and I went from normal to hard because I didn't want it to be too easy. But I haven't had any risk of dying yet so far.
Mhm.
Like it's been pretty easy.
Um.
um,
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly straight honest, like yeah, it's been quite easy, and I did die twice accidentally, like in combat, because I'm like, oh, that was just a stupid thing I just did. Like you can do it. It's just like
I mean,
no.
I've been treating the stealth like it matters, so I've been stealthy so far. But
I've been good with that, but I
um,
mean, I just lost my first like I didn't lose the fight, but I went through all my expendables, like by edible stuff, like the food, because it was a boss fight,
yeah.
and I was like,
Wait,
I
hold
wasn't
up,
quite
hold
ready
up,
for
hold
that.
up. Is this a game where you eat food and like he regains health?
Stamina,
yes,
and there's
this is a
bandages for
video
health.
game.
Yeah,
Tony, this is a video
I
game.
know it's a
Yes,
video
this
game,
happened.
but like most of it seems like it's
Most
like supposed to
video
be
games have fucking
emulating
food
the
you eat.
movies. So it's like I'm just imagining. It's like, oh, hold up, and he's just like fruit. It's like, oh, okay, I'm good in the middle of a boss fight. I don't know. Like to me, that's the push and pull, right? Or like on any other game, I can suspend my disbelief for that. It's like, yeah, this is a fucking video game. When you make a game that's supposed to be emulating a very famous movie series like Indiana Jones, it breaks my
No,
immersion. It's like, oh,
I hated when Batman just waited a little bit and got his life back in the Arkham games. I mean, it's a video game. I don't understand what you're looking for here.
I'm just saying
yeah,
for that specific instance where it's like, if that's the mechanic, like, okay, I would rather have the breathing mechanic or the like wait a couple seconds and then the red
well, there's
effect
swimming
goes
too.
away. That's
Sorry, there's
fine.
swimming too.
But it's like, oh, let me just pause and eat some bananas or
I
coconut or I don't know what he was eating.
I was
Papaya?
eating during
Mango?
combat. Yeah, I was like eating biscotti.
I
I
don't
was
think
eating
it's. I
biscotti
don't think
down.
you.
I was throwing some biscotti down while I was eating. While I was
I don't think it pauses in this game.
Oh,
Right?
I'm sorry.
It doesn't.
You don't pause. So it's just like what? You're like bobbing and weaving, fighting a Nazi. And it's
So
like,
I found out how the bandaging is so slow. Yeah, so I was running backwards while this guy was coming at me in the boss fight to bandage myself while he was coming at me, and I'm like trying to just back up and yeah. So I mean, it's a game at the end of the day. It's
no,
a
no. I
video
I,
game.
I
So,
understand it's a game. I'm
yes.
just saying for this particular thing where it's like, yeah, you're Indiana Jones. Don't pay attention to all the movies that this franchise is based off. You're playing a video game.
No, I like Cheryl just asked the question, like, is it if you're a fan
This
of
is
the
the
movie?
most
Yeah, I would say fans of the movie.
disingenuous argument I've ever heard.
This is really for fans of the movie, though. It really is. Like, if you're not gonna pick up this game if you've never watched the movies, because it's kind of a nostalgia thing. It's very fun to go back as video games. What, Corey?
That's why I made sure.
You're muted. You're muted.
Before I played
You're muted.
Sorry. So if you haven't watched the movies, do you think you would enjoy this game?
No.
Really?
I'll go that far. No. I don't think so at all. Like, I don't feel like, like, I don't feel like that's what this
is. The
made for.
mechanics not good enough to support the
Okay.
No.
All right. That's all I need to hear. We can move on. We got a lot to talk about for the Game Awards.
Go ahead. That's it for me. Mike, you said there was another game?
I've been playing the fuck out of Marvel Rivals.
Oh, yeah, nice. Let's get into that. You guys have been playing that?
No, let's not get into that. We need to cover Game Awards. You've been playing Marvel Rivals.
Go ahead. Marvel
Right,
Rivals.
No, go ahead. Speak on it briefly, but we're at 11 minutes. We got fucking like an hour and a half to talk about for Game Awards.
We do have a lot.
No, let's waste time on you being sarcastic about basic video game mechanics for a while. First.
Oh my god. Let's get into the game. Tell me about Marvel Rivals. Get me in Marvel Rivals, please.
It's not allowed. Never mind. It's not important.
Okay, good. We agree.
One person's priority.
We agree. I've also been playing Marvel Rivals. Nothing needs to be said. Great game.
It's a great game.
Great game.
Nice. 20 million people playing the game right now.
Yep.
20 million. That's fantastic. Heroes fun?
Let's go. Let's go.
Corey, who have you been playing?
Our Rivals, man. It's the game.
So
right
none
now.
of
It's
you
the hot
want to
game.
talk about this game. Like,
We talked
this
about it a lot
preview.
last week.
We talked about it last week when you weren't on, Jim. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
got it. Well, I was sick. I am so sorry.
I'm just saying we talked about it last week. Nothing has changed between last week and this week with fucking Marvel Rivals. At all.
Got it. Okay.
Great. We can move on.
Got it. Overall, I was 20 minutes. I already said that one. All right. Let's see. Let's go into Sony talking. Okay, Sony's confirmed their intent to buy From Software. That was not last week. That was afterwards, right? Yeah, it was right after the podcast. So that was confirmed. They're actually looking at buying Kodakawa, which we mentioned. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know. But so yeah, their initial statement of intent. We would appreciate it refrain from further comments. We won't hear anything more about this for a while, but they are looking to buy the studio, From Software, the parent company, because Kodakawa has a whole bunch of stuff, as we mentioned, right? So, that is true.
They own a few things.
Yeah, it's bad. Hopefully, don't get it.
More consolidation.
Yep.
And as we'll get into Game Awards, Borderlands 4 will cut back on the toilet humor.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Borderlands 3 was that it was just like written by 14-year-old boys that didn't have any real life experience, and were just based off of.
I never played it because
videos.
I heard that. I heard that, and like.
I mean, that's what the story was. Like, I love Borderlands and the gameplay loop and everything, but yeah, the story-wise and what it was offering was pretty crap.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot of the fan favorite characters dirty in that. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. They released the trailer at the Game Awards, so we got to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We're saying let's just go into the Game Awards and then talk about the trailer. We'll kick off with that. Let's talk about Borderlands 4, Corey. So we had a lot of reveals at the Game Awards. There were a lot of winners. We'll get to the winners at the end here. Let's talk about what was revealed and talk about the games that we want to talk about. Corey, let's go with Borderlands 4 to kick us off. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like I'm definitely excited. It's Borderlands. I'm always gonna be excited for Borderlands, and I'm much more excited after hearing what they talked about as far as cutting back on a lot of the toilet humor, because what Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2, like, they had humor, and it was like kind of toilet humor a little bit, but the underlying stories and the themes, it was really dark, right? There was some dark stuff going on, and it was heavy, and it was meaningful. There was none of that in Borderlands 3 that mattered.
That's why I never played it.
Like,
I never played it because I read that.
Yeah, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 1, things mattered. It felt like there was consequences, even though there was jokes and stuff. It still felt like things were important. Borderlands 3, it was just a cartoon that was just nothing. So to hear that, and we're getting follow-up from some of the things that they introduced in Borderlands 2 specifically as well, seems very interesting. Yeah. And it looks like they're focusing on a singular villain that is going to be more of a threat, I think, as well
I
as
think that's a good
this,
idea.
this
Yeah.
ongoing war that's going to be happening. And it, yeah, the trailer made me much more excited for what we're going to get, and I'm much more interested to see where they're going to take it. I really hope they can
Return to form.
deliver,
Yeah.
deliver that Borderlands 2 feeling again, because
Yeah. And then Churro just said the Tiny Tina game was the worst with that. It was so bad with that. Yeah. That was
Well,
pretty bad.
apparently there was a rumor going around right now that there was a Tiny Tina sequel that was canceled. So, not sure if that's true.
yeah, I mean, I heard there like so I think I heard what they were gonna do more Tiny Tina stuff, and they're gonna make Tiny Tina's the original game a little bigger, but then they're like, we gotta scrap the Tiny Tina stuff, and so the stuff we're gonna put that we're using for 2, we're gonna throw that as DLC for Tiny Tina, like the original stuff. And so
yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
And so yeah, I mean, I like the idea of what Tiny Tina was doing and creating a character and having those combinations of powers that you can do with Tiny Tina. And so I'll be interested to see if some of that kind of comes over in Borderlands 4. But they did show the 4 new Vault Hunters. They look pretty interesting. They did show a character coming back from Borderlands 3 in this one. And they did show that you're going to be playing as Siren, because that was a question that people had, because the way Borderlands 3 ends is there really are no Sirens anymore, except for some kid that nobody
I will say
likes, so.
the one thing that I couldn't remember when the trailer was being shown was it seemed like they moved away from the graphic style, the aesthetic of like 1 and 2. I don't know if this is true or not, but like I saw the trailer, I was like, I remember it being a bit more cel-shaded, like stylistically.
Yeah.
And this trailer, it seemed like more so realistic. I don't know if that's like the correct word to use in this case.
It's more the technology.
You think it's technology? Okay.
I still think that it does still have that like thick black lines that they do for the cartoons and the cell shading stuff, but they've cleaned it up a lot more, where they had to hide a lot of stuff, I think, in the older games. So it was more pronounced. Here, it's just...
It feels like maybe too clean. Probably that's...
Could be.
Correct term I mean,
there's a lot of color in this I saw.
No, color's good. I was just... it was really just like a moment like, this doesn't look like I remember 2... Because that was what I played. I didn't play 3.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and they said that it's going to be a big open worlds that with no loadings time, so interested to see how big these maps are going to be. But yeah, I'm excited for it. We're looking to get more information. It's coming out next year, so
yeah.
Let's hope it's not too late. Not like a year from now next year, but maybe September. I'm thinking.
We'll see. Let's see. Another unveil. We had Okami 2, a sequel coming from Hideki Kamiya's new studio, which is awesome. We just talked about that new studio being formed. So that's Tony. You've played this. I never played Okami. So that's not for me, but how excited are you for this one?
No, so actually, Okami is one of the few Capcom PS2 era games I did not play. I've seen people play it. I've seen streams of it.
I swear I talked to you about it. Like
a Nintendo Wii, right?
I probably played like somebody like was playing it. I was like, I'll just check out the controls.
I remember walking around conventions. I remember like they were cosplaying. Like maybe you just knew about it.
I knew about it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is really exciting. I didn't know it was Okami at first. I thought it was something else. But then when the trailer, because it was cut, very particularly, where you see like a wolfish, canine something looking, white and some red. I'm like, there's no way this is Okami. Like, there's no way Capcom would fucking do that in 2024. And it was, and it's like, oh shit, like okay. And the way Jeff had hyped it up was like, I was like expecting something. I was expecting something like really, really dramatic and reveal. But I was like, I mean, that's a cool get. Don't get me wrong. I was just like, oh, is he unveiling like Death Stranding 3 already? We only have 2 yet. Yeah. But no, I think it's fantastic. Kamiya is coming back because he just left Platinum Games, which is a huge issue. And now that he's left officially, returned to Capcom to form a specific studio about this. Unfortunately, it sounds like Platinum Games is not doing well on the business side of things, where he took a lot of developers with him to form this new studio, which is obviously bad because he's taking people that were, veteran staff there and whatnot. So a little concerned on the Platinum Game side of things, which we haven't heard much about what they're doing in a few years. So that is something we'll talk about, I'm sure, next year. But that's a good get from Capcom, because I feel like they did get a little safe with like the Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and like you get one Street Fighter generation, right?
Yeah.
So good to see them expand their portfolio. And Onimusha, I want to shout out that because that was another game that they revealed.
No, that's
Just
what I
as we're
was
talking
going
about
to say.
Capcom.
Onimusha. Yeah, let's go to Onimusha.
Right, because that trailer
was a great reveal.
Oh, that was an amazing. I was like, is this
Yeah.
Sekiro 2? Are they just dropping Sekiro 2 in the middle of this fucking? Because that's like an end of award show announcement. Like would be Sekiro 2 because it's the previous game of the year winner.
No, but it's exciting for Onimusha though. Like holy crap! Like that was the last game in that series. Yeah, it was like.
Oh, I mean PS3 maybe or something like
it was
that.
20. Yeah, way 10 over a decade. Over a decade easily.
But it's awesome because I'll cite it because I said it when all these other samurai games got released. But it's like I really think the success of like Sekiro and then Ghost of Tsushima was like people are like, wait, we have a samurai IP. Why aren't we using that? It's like, you dumb motherfuckers. Like,
and that's what they said, right? They're saying that they want to go back through their catalog of games and see what has potential to be either remade or sequels put out or revisited in some way. So that's exciting to see because Capcom has been on the uptrend, at least as far as what they've been doing. Yeah. And they saw the success with Resident Evil. Like, hey, fans loved that you did it and you did a good job with it, then people will respond positively. So
yeah, no, it's exciting to see this game actually coming out, and it looks awesome. And obviously it's very early, not early, but it's early enough but you can see the game. It's there at least, which is cool.
Yeah, just by the footage alone, I think Onimusha is further along, and Okami 2, I think, is definitely like, hey, we were able to put this together for the Game Awards announcement.
Yep, I agree. Something further along than I even knew about, Elden Ring, never even knew about. Elden Ring Night Rain was shown, standalone co-op spin-off game. So
I don't know, man.
This is a huge thing. I couldn't believe it. So dust off those Elden Lord boots, I guess, and party with your friends. So this will be a co-op set in a world parallel to Elden Ring. Players
like
will
a
team
roguelite almost.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, with up to 2 friends and explore a condensed map of Elden Ring's Limegrave area, infested with random enemies. That's the and structures at the start of each session. So yes, you will have it's a roguelike almost game. And in the Elden Ring world, Elden Ring style, obviously, balancing has to be the hard part, right? With this, but it's like, I'm really worried about how hard this will be, but just because it's multiplayer and shit, like I expect them to crank it like massively the difficulty.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, and it's interesting because like leading up to the show, they were like there was a rumor mill that was like, From Software is going to reveal a Monster Hunter-esque co-op, PvE game. And everybody's like, what? That's so weird. And then I don't think anybody had their bingo card like, oh, it's Elden Ring Monster Hunter. It could be cool. Me personally, I'm kind of sick of Elden Ring now, and I just like to see him do something else. But you can't get to, I think they just announced actually 28 million copies. So you can't do that and then just ignore it. So I get it, but I want to see another project.
Yeah.
Is it something that it's coming next year, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a smaller team. I don't think it's going to be... and they said it's going to be in scope of, like, the Shadow of the Erd Tree, both in scope and price. So, you're looking like a $40 title or something. So, it's not like a AAA, full budget, $200 million.
No, it's definitely not something I expected to see at all, like, especially considering it's coming out so soon.
Yeah, the weird thing I saw today, actually, said specifically it's either 1 player solo or 3 player. Like you can't do 2 for some reason. I don't know why.
Is it just the scaling of the enemies just doesn't work with 2?
I don't know. I just saw a headline. I was like, that's weird. I got to check that out later.
That is weird. So, all right. Mike, Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2, the new trailer, gameplay trailer, coming 2025. What are we thinking? Excited?
A nice 8 hours.
So it's going to be bigger, right? Didn't they say it's going to be bigger than the first one?
I'm skeptical that Obsidian can make big games, but first game was fine. So
first game was great. I really enjoyed the first game quite a bit. Not fine. I thought it was really good. It was surprising how good that game was. That's why it's like, this is exciting. I disagree. I thought it was way better than
make a jump.
Actual Fallout. So from Fallout 4, but that was me. It was just not enough content.
The thing is, there was one noteworthy companion in that game.
Yes, yeah,
It was,
that's true.
it was Pan Am, and then everyone else. Well, there's only like two other normal companions. Then there was a robot, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't know. It
Um,
just the scope of that game seemed a little smaller than it looked like it was going to be, and I actually played through it twice, and but it was so quick, and I don't know. The actual gameplay wasn't particularly good either
yeah,
in that
I mean
game.
overall, but
It was fine. It was good. I'll play this game. I can't say I'm. There's so much coming
It's
out
a Game
early
Pass
next year
game,
that
right?
I'm
100%. I
interested
mean, they're
in.
owned by
Yeah, and I think it
Microsoft.
is.
Yep.
yeah,
So I'll play it for sure, and I'll be glad to get it for that price. But I'm not.
all right.
I'm
I
not.
mean, I'm more
I,
excited than
I
that than
didn't.
I
I
would be
haven't.
of new Fallout. So
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of excited for this game because I know how good they had it as a first try. I thought it was a really good first
for
try.
a first try,
So,
that was really
yeah.
impressive. Like I never finished the game because it gave me it wanted me to play like replay Vegas or something like that, but I was like, I don't want to do that. But again, like starting a new IP is really hard. So I commend them for that, and I
Yeah.
expect great things
No,
of the sequel.
I mean, it was good, but it's I just my
Yeah, it's
expectations
good, not great.
were lowered. Were lowered also by it from what the studio is capable of. I would say. So it was good, but it's almost like a double A thing. It's
I mean, it
just a
was.
smaller scale than.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I'd say it's double A because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Right. So
Uh,
that's what it
all right.
is.
Any interest in the Dispatch game? Aaron Paul, Jeffrey Wright, Laura Bailey, big actors attached to this game.
What was the gameplay for that?
It's
I
like
feel like I skipped through this.
yeah.
I
I mean, this
remember
was I watched it. It was kind of like it's tough to describe. Like
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
They don't want Jim to describe it apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that bit was not funny. Them, by the way, the Laura Bailey, Aaron Paul.
Yeah, now I remember that
Where
one.
he
They were
acted
kind of
like she was the big star, and he was like, because also this guy was in.
Oh,
One
this is the
Show.
new
I mean, I
Telltale
know
game. That's right. That's right. No, I'm excited for
Oh,
this.
yeah.
I'm excited for
Okay.
this. I have low expectations, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But
That's just
actually,
the
no.
extent.
Now I'm remembering what it is. This was because it is unique. It's
Yeah.
yeah. He's a former some sort of hero, I guess, but not really, and he's sort of dispatching heroes in a very sort of strategy-looking way to deal with situations from like an office screen or computer. But then, yeah, on the side, it's like a Telltale game where everyone's making
Yeah.
conversation like that. So, yeah, it actually does look pretty cool. It's unique, but
You know, I
really
like the
liked
art
it.
style. I think it's cool. Like this is it's technically ad hoc studio, but it's the Telltale style and stuff like that. I think it's
Wow, yeah.
got formative. So yeah, I mean, it's cool. I didn't expect it. New IP, new world, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was excited and hopeful for
Yeah,
new
exactly. Like
things.
hopefully when it comes out, it's good. And if not, I won't play it. But if it is, got something new to play.
there you go.
No, actually, yeah, no, it looked more interesting than I thought. I was expecting some like Fast and Furious type bullshit when he came out there.
Yeah,
like,
no,
the
that
previous
was.
year.
Yep. Any interest in Mafia coming summer 2025? The Old Country.
Not particularly, but looked
I
pretty
never
really
cool.
played
for
the
me.
first.
Not really for me. It's never been for me. So
If I played the old games and liked them on on Game Pass,
I
maybe.
feel like it's like GTA is just gonna dominate, and so
Yeah, I
That
think
seems
so.
like a poor choice if they're launching. Man,
Yeah.
they got to be hoping that GTA is delayed. They have to be.
Yeah,
They're like, please,
absolutely.
please, please.
Oh. Mhm.
I think it will be. Let's see. What's the next game I'm going to go over here? Split Fiction. So It Takes Two developer was there, obviously. And then the next game, co-op adventure game coming called
Split
Split
screen,
Fiction. Yes.
I mean, that's
Yes.
one of their staples, right? This is
Yeah.
couch
Yeah.
co-ops
Yeah.
thing.
So each level will jump between
This-
sci-fi world and fantasy world, and the pair will need to figure out how to escape through the worlds they created. So
It's
I look good.
basically
It's fun.
it's
Yeah.
basically It Takes Two in a different sort of
Absolutely.
premise, is what it's
Which is
That's what he does. Like that's those
Yeah.
whole studios. They're all
They're all
Co-op.
co-op experiences. Yeah.
yeah. I think that it's a neat idea. It does not look interesting to me at all.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's neat.
It's
idea.
one of those things where, like, so I haven't played I haven't played It Takes Two. Heard great things. I think it won a lot of awards. Yeah, Game of the Year. I did play A Way Out. I think it was the other one.
Okay. That like I love the concept of that. Is escaping.
Yeah, the prison one.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like
one's a cop.
It was cool. I'm glad I played it. I think the execution left a little, and the ending in particular left me a little wanting. But I think it's cool that his studio does stuff like this, because how many times have we talked about a lot of games don't have co-op anymore, right? It's just like, that's like the first thing to get cut, right? It's like no co-op or no split screen. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I feel bad for kids these days, really. Like they just they're gonna have a lot of those things. It's like, oh, cop online for Fortnite. It's like for Roblox. It's like, oh, that's depressing as fuck to me. But
everybody's got a mobile phone, right?
Don't you have a phone? Yeah.
No.
So I think it's cool, and at least on PC, I think he announced. I'm not sure about systems, but it's one of those things where if you get a copy, you can play. Even if somebody didn't buy the game, you could play the whole game with them. So I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. Yep. All right. A couple games coming to PC finally. Final Fantasy VII, Last of Us Part 2, finally coming to PC. Let's see. The next game reveal, I could go over is the Yakuza and Like a Dragon developer has revealed Project Century. New action game set in 1915, looks to play like is very much like Yakuza. However, it does a little more gorier, the alt history angle. What do you guys think? Mike, did you see this one?
I was confused by this because right before that, RGG announced that it was bringing back Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, I skipped that one first because for me, that's the big announcement for me. Like, I was super excited for Virtua Fighter.
So that was surprising. I thought that might have been a Yakuza game too, the way it was starting out, but no. Then this game came right after, and I didn't even know if it was still an RGG thing. And I'm like, oh, someone is like doing a period, more gritty Yakuza thing. That's
Yakuza game.
A little weird. I was like, oh wait, it's actually RGG themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I'm definitely,
interested.
Gonna check it out, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's strange that they're making two games that aren't Yakuza games now this year.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Announcing them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Corey, what did you think? Virtua Fighter announced new game.
Man, it's great.
Big fans. We were big fans.
Love Virtua Fighter.
Back in the day.
It's been a while, yeah. So I'm not. I gotta see more, but I don't know. It's just even Virtua Fighter 5, I didn't really play. So
yeah, same here.
I mean, the thing is, I respect Virtua Fighter a lot. I was never a Virtua Fighter guy, but I remember getting 5 on Xbox 360. I think that was the one that was on 360.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
just because I was really impressed with the graphics. Like, I think it was a graphical showcase back on the 360. And I just remember being in training mode, trying to learn one character, and just looking through the move list. And I was just like, nobody's gonna play this with me. Like nobody in my friend group will play this. So why am I even bothering to learn this? Because like the other option is like, okay, I go online. I've never played Virtua Fighter before, and then I get destroyed in online ranked games. It's like, that doesn't sound fun either. So I was just like, I'll go through the story mode or the arcade mode, and that's it. And it's one of those things where I think Virtua Fighter needs to be more accessible for a modern audience, especially if they want to go into like the competitive esports, or at least get that huge fan base, right? Because like not everybody that plays Street Fighter 6 is obviously an esport player or anything like that, but like you got to be like, hey, you don't need to memorize a fucking instruction manual to know all your characters' moves. Because like it was ridiculous. I remember just like going like I would never be able to execute this if I had to, like off the top of my head. Like I need to do downright hold 2 seconds. Right? It's just like it was so complex. I'm like, dude, and that was when I was like in my 20s, right? And I had plenty of free time, let alone before. I'm like, I'm not going to spend that much time on one fighting game character to be competitive. Yeah. So I just hope I'm excited that it's coming back, because it was sad that it, disappeared for so long. But I just hope,
especially with the rise of fighting games.
Yeah, the resurgence. Yeah, it never came back. So, it never came back.
So I'm glad it's coming. I'm excited to see what they do, but I think I'm past it now. It's like
for sure.
Saturn, Virtua Fighter 2 days. That was peak. That was definitely peak.
But I mean, just in general, I am excited that RGG Studios is branching out, because again, don't get me wrong, Yakuza is awesome, everything Yakuza really, but like it's one of those things where I think maybe like at least 5+ years have been dedicated to just Yakuza, where it's like, all right, Sega, you can do something else, right? Kind of like I was saying about Capcom. It's like Monster Hunter, Resident Evil. It's like you got other IPs, guys. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see creatives get to do other things as well. 'Cause,
Right,
like,
right,
eventually
yeah.
you get stuck in like a lane, and just like how
Yeah.
much creative juices can you continue to squeeze
Yeah.
out of these people doing the same thing? Where now they get to explore something completely new, and now be able to change up. Like, it's like with Yakuza, like we have to have certain things. Like you have to have this and you have to have that. Here it's like, well, it's wide open. What do we want to do? What
Right,
have
we can do whatever
itching
we
to
want.
get in there, and so that's
I am,
exciting.
I am curious though with the Century project or Project Century, that's what it's called.
Mhm.
How similar but different it is. It is a strange thing. It does almost feel like it's like a rip off of itself in a way, but not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I need to see more gameplay. I need to
Yeah.
see gameplay.
Yeah, I'm curious about what non-gameplay, like.
No, that's fair too.
Are there going to be mini games or side things like similar to what you would get in a Yakuza game? So
Yeah.
that would be interesting to see, or maybe not. Maybe that's not what they're going for this time. Who knows?
I don't know. We'll see. All right, we got a new, well, not a new game, an old franchise coming back. Turok Origins was
A
announced.
lot
Surprisingly,
of old is new again.
Yeah.
old is new.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to play Gears of War Turok style? Because that's what I got from this vibe was Gears of War style. It was a third-person action game.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's what I got from this immediately. It does have a biomorphic suit that can capture DNA from enemies to gain more powers. Cool little twist on it. But it's a three-player.
It's hard to get 4
up to
players
3.
now, so we're
Yeah,
lowering it to
apparently.
3.
That's weird, right? So, but yeah, so interesting. No date. Very little bit about
Yeah,
it. But
I mean, I was never a big Turok fan, so it's not like I'm looking forward to
was
it.
fun the first
If
game.
it comes out and
cool.
it's great, awesome. But like,
Yeah, I mean, the first game was very cool. I never got into it after that, but yeah, I get
it
you.
was a tech showcase back in the day, I think,
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
especially
Yes,
for on the
definitely was.
N64. Yeah.
Fighting
Definitely was.
dinosaurs is always.
It was the biggest fog game of all time,
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden side scroller.
This looks
Return.
awesome, I think.
This looked really cool. So this is a 2D side scroller, pixel. It looks like sprites.
I think it's .emu, right?
Yeah, I think it is. So I'm super excited for this 2D side scroller called Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. So summer 2025. It looks really cool. Expect it to be very difficult, but fun looking game. Looks really good.
Yeah, like
So.
the thing that's interesting to me is that like Ninja Gaiden, even on the Xbox and Xbox 360, they were very popular games, but they were also very difficult, right? And then I feel like it was right after a couple years after this game is when Dark Souls came out and like kind of took off, right? Where people are like, yeah, I want a hardcore, very challenging, blah 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 game, and I'm like, oh well, you should try Ninja Gaiden, right? Because that was fucking hard. And they just never made like, or at least when they made the new ones, it was kind of like didn't make any splashes. Like, oh, nobody cares about this, and so they just stopped making them. So for it to come back and embrace its 2D roots, I was like, oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. Not that I'm disinterested. It's just like not what
I hope it does well.
Yeah, me too.
Like, Prince of Persia was supposed to be a great game, and it just got killed. Like,
well, you
it
blame
didn't do
Ubisoft on that one.
Yeah, and that So I mean, I hope it does well.
Yeah.
But all right, Slay the Spire 2 official gameplay trailer revealed. Early access coming in 2025 for this game, as we discussed it. Kind of crazy, right?
Yep.
Slay the Spire. We just mentioned it 2 weeks ago, thanks to Balatro. But Slay the Spire 2 coming. Exciting.
Yeah, I love
actually gonna
fucking Slay the Spire.
I love it
so
I'm going to start that game soon because I'm kind of Balatro. Kind of like
Balatroed out.
Yeah, I'm about done with that game. So done my variations enough. So not enough not enough in that. So looks good though. This looks really good. The official gameplay trailer that was shown. Exciting for this game. Let's see. What was Pac-Man kind of game, right?
Yeah,
like
I
it's
know,
a
very
Pac-Man reboot coming called Shadow Labyrinth.
Okay, is it like the secret level type of
Yeah,
thing?
It's like secret level. It's a platformer Pac-Man
Secret
game.
level
Is that what we're getting here?
Amazon show.
Amazon Video Shorts.
Yeah.
Secret level
Collector's
Pac-Man episode is getting it turned into a Metroidvania with Harada producing. So yeah, so Pac-Man Episodes is getting a very own game called Shadow Labyrinth, and it'll tell a story, darker, edgier version of the iconic arcade character. It's kind of weird how they're trying to do this right now.
Mm.
It's set to release in 2025. This is obviously the Tekken producer behind it, and hey, it looks interesting. It looks cool, like platformer Pac-Man. It's kind of a cool idea. It reminds me of Pac-Man World. That was me of Pac-Man World. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I doubt it'll be for me, but cool to see.
Yeah,
Again,
same
doing something new, because like I can't even remember the last Pac-Man game that wasn't like a variation of like Pac-Man Championship Edition or something like that, where it's like, oh, okay, sure.
Yep. Are you shocked, Mike, that the Sifu developer is doing an online multiplayer soccer game next? Rematch?
Yeah, that was weird.
That's weird.
I don't know. This again, some of this I was behind, so I might have accidentally skipped through some stuff thinking it was.
Yeah, and it's
commercials.
possible. Yeah, I'm just reading through that. I get to flip through this and tell you it. So
Sifu, like that, it's supposed to kind of be like a arcadey soccer.
Arcade soccer, yeah, not like sim
arcade soccer. No out of bounds, stuff like that.
I mean, it has to be with FIFA being like the biggest game franchise in the world. It's not called FIFA anymore.
Football club.
Yes. So yeah, you have to differentiate yourself enough to exist in that space.
Balatro developer took a shot at FIFA or Football Club in a tweet.
Oh yeah, because Balatro had to be rated like 18 plus or whatever. Like that.
It's like, so, maybe I should put in like loot boxes and gambling and stuff, and then I could get a 3 rating.
All right, let's get into some meat and potatoes of some games here. We'll kick it off with Fumito Ueda's next game, codenamed Project Robot. Obviously, this is from Shadow of the Colossus developer. Quick look at it. Looked great. Looked, climbing a humanoid mech. Distorted voice counted down the time until a shockwave hit. Looks interesting, I would say, right? I mean, I'm excited for this because Shadow Colossus. I was never an Ico fan, but
yeah, my range of emotions was interesting for this trailer because I was like, is this Ico 2? Because like when it starts out,
I didn't know what it was. Yeah,
it looked like Ico 2, but then he starts climbing something, and I'm like, Shadow of the Colossus 2, right? And then he climbs, and he's climbing, and it's like, oh, this is a mech. I was like, mech game? I was like, all right, I'm down for a mech game. But then he gets in the head, and like the head is just like taking off. And I'm like, no, get back in the mech. I don't know what you're doing. Get back in the mech. It's like just smush down there, reattach.
You're like, what is it? Family Guy thing where Peter Griffin's like, oh, a period piece. Oh, he's watching all the intros to the movies, at studios. That's what you just reminded me of right there. Like, oh, okay, I'm good with this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So,
that's what just reminded me.
No, good for him. It's been a while since we've seen him. I think Last Guardian on PS4. So probably coming close to like a decade or so, or something like that. Which is good.
It's exciting. No release window. We'll see where that goes.
Without gameplay, I'm just assuming it's at least 2 years
Absolutely.
out.
Oh yeah, maybe longer.
Yeah.
Let's go with Intergalactic next. Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog. Obviously brings us Last of Us. Brings us great stuff. What's that?
Right. So the rumors that we didn't believe that we saw that this was going to be like some big sci-fi game from Naughty Dog. IP. They were true.
Yeah, they weren't true.
No.
Looks like a little bit of a. This is right up my alley. Like I'm down.
Called it last week.
Well,
did you guys
have any idea what the game actually will play like, though? We have no idea.
No.
Not one.
Zero.
We do know it has a lot of product placement, though, which is interesting.
Sure does. I mean, as far as the theme goes, I think the theme is great. Like we're talking like 80s style in space. Like I love the theme, and Tony posted in the Discord the inspirations of Cowboy Bebop and Akira are obvious and very welcome. So
as soon as he said that, I was like, all right, Neil. I was like, all right, I don't really like you, but I'm interested now. I'm interested. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention.
For sure. The main character, we'll see. Like I like the bounty hunter aspect of it. Seems cool. You got some obviously they're doing the real people actors.
Yeah, it's very realistic and stuff like that. So
this woman was in the Uncharted movie, so there's a tech connection there.
Yeah, connection. Yeah, is a canon to the Uncharted universe.
So Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet is the official name. No release date, obviously. Ways off, but
that ending with the robot and this laser sword that was great.
Yeah, I mean visually it looks stunning, right? Which is what we expect out of Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog,
I like the whole aspect of the sci-fi world from Naughty Dog. I'm kind of already excited for. I really am. Like, I'm into it. Like, you posted that. I was like, yeah, because I didn't get to watch this show live. I missed it because what was I doing that day? I was out. I had school things. I was working. But I did get the rundown from you guys on a lot of it, and that was like instant watch. Let me see this thing, and I was excited immediately for it.
Yeah, color me surprised that they're doing this because I really thought they would just move right on to Last of Us Part 3. Especially because they're incentivized to with the show now, right? And money, notoriety, and stuff like that. So, props to them for doing an original IP, female character right from the get go. Which is unfortunate, just because, like, again, just like Ghost of Yotei, you're seeing this online segment of the population where, like, I don't want to play as a girl. It's like, oh my god. Like, why is this a problem in 2024? I don't
understand
get
it.
it.
Problem.
I mean, as a young teenage boy, and if you're in third person, I always wanted to play as a woman. like, why
it's
wouldn't
like,
you?
did you like? Can you imagine if like Tomb Raider came out today? It'd be like, whoa, she's so woke. What the hell? It's like, shut the fuck
I don't get that.
Well,
we're gonna get into
out
here
today. She'd have no boobs either. So.
Well, they say she doesn't have any boobs. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, have you guys ever seen a woman wear a sports bra? No, because you've never touched one.
I don't know.
I mean, we're getting to the next one.
People just want to play as characters they think look cool, and if they don't think the character looks cool, then they don't want him. I don't know.
So, Mike,
that could mean a bunch of different things to different people, though.
Let's lead into The Witcher 4 then for you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's it's a perfect lead into it. So, because I heard a lot of flack from people online about you gotta play a Ciri. What I thought we understood that.
Why is she so ugly?
Yeah. Oh yeah, immediately like what did they do to her? I'm like,
there's two things. There's three things with this. Number one, and everyone has said pretty much. I think even CD Projekt Red themselves have said that this would probably be a Ciri-led game for a long time.
They did. They did.
They
yeah. The Geralt's story was done.
Now I was of the mind that it might be nice to pivot a little bit because so many people had The Witcher 3 as their first experience with the franchise, and to move on from Geralt right away. It's not really right away, but it feels like it for the majority of the fans. I can see why, you might want to pivot, but they didn't, and it's fine. It makes sense. Because, the thing about Geralt is he's not even really the main character of his own story. Like, Ciri is the chosen one. She's the one with all the special child with all the powers and all that nonsense. And he's her protector, and he's guiding her to make the main decision in the end of the game to like either save the world or die or whatever. And so that was interesting. So now, but it was always probably going to be Ciri this game. That's no surprise. And it was also going to be further in the future, so she would look a little different. And furthermore, if you recall the cinematics of Witcher 3, the characters didn't really look like their in-game models at all.
No,
then either. So, like at all, especially Yennefer, the female character.
Yeah, black-haired.
One of the main female characters in that game. She didn't look like her CGI in the same game as her character. So I wouldn't put too much worry into this. The one thing that does make me wonder a little bit though is they changed the voice actor too, which is a little strange to me. Why it's not the Ciri from The Witcher 3. That's a little strange, but I guess they wanted to go older. I don't know. But no, it's just CGI. It's just a trailer. It's might have almost no bearing on what anything looks or plays like in the end. But they're clearly glowing with the ending where she becomes a Witcher, and we'll see. It's whenever we see this in like 5 years. So anyone getting upset about this is wasting their energy. Honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, the people that are complaining about it are the same people that complain about any game that has a female lead, and they're like, whatever. That's what I said. They have energy. They have energy to spare. Unfortunately, they
listen. I would prefer another Geralt game, but I can see why it's not, and it's fine. I mean,
I mean, it's fine if you're like, I wanted to play as more Geralt, but it's like, I gotta play a girl. I can't do that. I can't imagine being a girl. Okay, well, you're certainly talking like one, acting like one.
I think I covered. Did I cover all the games? I think I did. Anything else? I did skip a couple. Like anything else that you want me to cover? There was like Sonic Racing. There was
just
Diver.
Churro said something about it not being the exact series. It is the same series, just the voice actor that Mike was saying they changed.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
missed that. Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Award side of the show.
I love how like they just like sped through. It's like the awards don't matter. We just gotta get to more. Here's some more videos, some more trailers. It's like, oh here, award. Okay, here's a trailer.
I am shocked. Best role playing game went to Metaphor.
Well,
You know, obviously there was a lot of nominations here. I like Final Fantasy didn't really take anything. You know.
music. It got music, right?
Yeah, it got music.
Yeah. So Metaphor took a narrative. It took best RPG.
Yeah,
really,
I was actually expecting Metaphor to take because it was winning so many things other than Astrobout, which we'll get to.
What I think hurt Final Fantasy a little bit is that we've seen it already. Like they you know, like it's out there
for sure. But at the same time, I'd be like, well, Metaphor is just Persona, but
sure,
that's my thing.
Yes.
No, I mean you're not wrong.
We've seen it.
It's also it is a
yeah.
You know, the characters' names are different.
No, for sure. I guess the thing that I think it's just kind of like the Lord of the Rings syndrome with the Oscars, where it's like, well, we know there's another one coming, right? And it's like maybe that's when we give it the accolades it deserves. Yeah. Because
right.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm enjoying Metaphor.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm enjoying Metaphor, but I'm like, this is not doing for RPGs what Rebirth did. So this blew my mind at this one. I was like, really?
Rebirth is such a big game, and there's so many things they're doing in that.
So amazing what they've done to that game.
And Metaphor is.
It's my game. It's gonna be my game.
But I mean, Metaphor's great.
No, don't get me wrong.
Metaphor's awesome.
It's great, but it's not like what I feel Rebirth is too.
Right. It's like, you're comparing the two, and it's like one is clearly like doing so much more.
Yeah.
It's just like,
we'll get into that of the year, I'm sure. I mean, they're best of the year.
You guys, I haven't played any of these games. Like I was a little tuned out to the awards this year because I'm not really attached to any of the nominees too much. But do you guys think that Rebirth got just penalized for being a remake, even though it's a big total?
I think there was a little
to some
bit
part,
of that.
yeah.
Also, it was early in the year, and like recency bias also.
I think a recency bias got a
factor.
lot of it. I think that's really what it was.
Like a Dragon got like kicked out of everything, and it had a higher Metacritic
and that should
score
be
than a lot of games.
And that should be up there. You're right. Like that's like I don't know where that's gonna fall on my list of the year, but I'm like that should be in there. There should be nominations for that, but you know, I mean winners for that. But
it was in I think RPG, and it's not much.
Yeah.
But RPG and narrative, which are honestly the weakest parts of it.
I love how there's best action game and then this best action adventure game.
Yeah. Let's see. Action adventure.
That makes sense to me.
Action adventure went to
adventure. Just call it adventure game then. Not call it action adventure game.
But when you say adventure,
let's go. Best community support with Baldur's Gate 3. We do community support every year now. Best is that best ongoing essentially community support? Is that what that is?
Best updates is what that is.
Or no? Do they actually have ongoing game? Oh, they do have ongoing game. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I thought it was like their best ongoing game essentially. But
no, it's
I froze.
It's the community support one's the one that's like getting out there.
Communication from the developers to the players and fan base and stuff like that. And I think Larian hit it out of the park, just in giving players what they wanted, which this year was a lot of updates, including the biggest one, which is mod support, official mod tools and stuff like that. So that by in and of itself just extends the life of that game by probably a decade, I imagine. We'll see updates too, or unless Baldur's Gate 4 comes out before then. But even then, I still think you see a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 updates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, Larian did a lot of good stuff with Baldur's Gate 3.
Especially with the surprise success they had, they handled it very well.
Very well.
Yeah. Helldivers 2 is best ongoing game. If you said that.
That I was surprised about because I felt like everybody turned on Helldivers 2 after the forced Sony login stuff.
It died off a lot. Yeah, it definitely did. But yeah, after the forced install,
I think with ongoing game, also sorry, Mike. With the ongoing, I think of games that have been going on for multiple years.
Yeah.
Where this came out this year.
Yeah.
Well, remember last year, this Cyberpunk got this award, which was interesting.
They didn't have best DLC, and then they're like, well, I guess.
Yeah.
We need to
They
just
should
throw the
have that.
DLC in the game of the year.
Watch them next year. They
But-
fucking have a DLC category. I guarantee you. I
Yeah,
guarantee you they
I
do.
bet you they do.
They have to. I mean, even the freaking Muppets made fun of
I
him.
will say I was a pleasant. I don't even
The
care about
Muppets-
Muppets. But I thought
Muppets
that
were
was
good.
awesome for the game.
Muppets
show.
I thought were great.
The Muppets were good, except their funniest joke, I think, actually offended Kojima because he didn't
It
quite
did.
understand it.
It
Oh.
did. I was
Which
gonna say that.
on brand,
Yeah.
which was on brand for the nature of the joke, though.
Yeah.
So
No, I think
It
that
kinda
was the
worked.
Waldor. It's that what his name start. What if the other guy's name set off? But they definitely
Statler,
the face Statler. But what they definitely did was you can see his face. Kojima's face
He
was
was
like,
not.
I am not amused right now.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
I think he might have thought it was like a shot at his like proficiency with the language or something, but it's more the real shot is that Jeff's kind of like a creepy fan.
Yeah.
That was the real shot.
Is he
That
really
was
that?
the
I
real
think
show
he
for
might have-
sure.
Yeah.
I think there was a.
I think Kojima might have misunderstood it as it being like about him not understanding English or American.
What I
don't know.
what I read on I think a Reddit thread or something was that Kojima. I mean, he knows English, but it's English as a second language, right? So there's obviously some give and take with that. But apparently he did a presentation or talked in English at some point, like years ago, like over 10 years ago, at least. And you know, some of the I guess journalists or media or fans, any combination of that, kind of poked fun at it or something like that. And since then, he's like, no, I'm just gonna translate it from now on, which kind of sucks when you think about it. It's like, oh, you know, this guy's trying to communicate in our language
Yeah,
for our
it's a
sake, and
slap
it's like
in the
you're
face.
doing
Slap in
that.
the face.
So
Slap
Yeah.
in the
I mean,
face.
that's how I feel with my like kindergarten level Spanish. I can understand and say some things, but I'm afraid to do it in front of
Yeah, me too.
natives.
yeah,
Me too. All right. Let's see. Balatro took debut indie game. It took.
which is that's amazing.
Yeah.
It took.
And today we learned
Mobile game.
we learned the developer is a recluse. Pretty much does not want to be known at all.
Yeah, I mean, most of these big indie game names, they're like that. Like Notch was like that. Before he got thrown to the limelight because of the success of Minecraft. Guy who did Stardew Valley, same thing. Hollow Knight. I don't think we've ever seen them in public. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
So, he's like, we are not this guy, but thank you. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like we're not him, but we're representing him. It's like, yep, got it.
Best adaptation went to Fallout. That was shocking.
That did surprise me. I was like,
Yeah.
I was happy with that one actually.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not happy with it. I was just
no,
surprised.
I'm
by
happy
it.
with that. Like Fallout's good. Don't get me wrong. I love Fallout. It's up there, but I'm just like,
It's arguable.
it
It's
didn't.
arguable.
I don't know. When I think about adaptation, there's different meanings to
What was
that,
it
right?
going against?
Arcane was the big
Arcane.
one.
Yeah, Arcane.
Well,
It was
yeah,
arguable.
but isn't it like
It's arguable.
more of its own thing? That's like making the lore more than adapting it.
So, no. I mean, it's
Arcane?
no.
Yeah.
Well, it's adapting the characters and expanding on the lore that's in the game, but there is no like story elements. Like Fallout, you're playing stories, a story, right? Where Arcane is
right.
a MOBA, so you have to read certain things, or there's like little like quotes and stuff.
I guess I mean again, yeah, like it's a lot about your definition of adaptation. I think Fallout hit the vibe and did an original story within a universe very well. I don't know. I didn't watch Arcane, but I figure it's kind of hard to get enough to adapt to make it like feel like you have to adapt from a MOBA.
Okay.
I
don't know.
what I
I
mean.
feel like
Is-
it's
'cause there's not-
arguable because both shows
not
were
that much
very
story.
good. I mean, both shows were very good. Arcane probably should have taken it. I don't disagree with you guys. I just feel like it is arguable. I get it, but I would argue that the game of the year was arguable. So, like, we talked about. It in
I mean, any of
podcast,
this is
but-
is arguable, but it's just in terms of we can get into this later. But I think the journalist body that encompasses the voters at Game Awards have biases. That's all I'll
maybe.
say, and we'll get into it.
No,
later.
I was gonna say that really because of how we had I don't even remember what I was gonna say that about, but there was something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Player's voice went to Black Myth, Wukong. I can't believe I
They
haven't
are
played the game
up
yet.
and when I say
Oh.
they, the Chinese
Like,
fans are up in arms.
I was like,
the Black Myth did not sweep, and I'm just
I know,
like, Jesus
but, like-
Christ, dudes. I'm
I would
like,
argue
It can
even,
only
like,
do so much. I mean, there's a
I
lot
wouldn't
of.
even argue you don't even have third best on that list in my argument. But
I
go on.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
If you're just looking at pure Metacritic scores, the least deserve, like the lowest one, and there were plenty of games that scored higher than it that didn't even get nominated. So it's like,
Yeah.
just be
That's
happy
what
you
happens
were
when the game's
invited.
popular, bro.
Be
Yeah, that's-
happy you were invited,
yeah.
right? Like that would be my takeaway. It's like, oh, this is our first game. We got invited. We got it all the way to the invitation. Like that would be an accomplishment. But it's like, no. This isn't good enough. And there's
You
some
get
like
that taste. Of
yeah.
like, oh, we get the invitation now. We deserve.
yeah,
more.
it's like I don't know. Have modest expectations, right? That's my motto there.
Yep. And game of the year went to Astrobot, which may have been I was very very surprised. I was ready for Final Fantasy VII to just take it, but
I was a little surprised because
Well, once
I was
Metaphor
gonna-
started winning over Final Fantasy, I was like, oh, I guess Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
might
I
be
thought
in
Metaphor
there.
was going to take it after it started winning over Rebirth.
Yep.
But
I was like, there's no way it's winning now. But like, so I was like, oh, what is gonna? I was like, are they really doing Elden Ring? That's what I thought. Like,
yeah,
when Metaphor won,
I thought it was
both
going to
of
be
those-
because Elden Ring didn't win a single thing. I want to know.
Yeah.
Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree didn't win a single thing. So they went through all that hoopla and all that drama online discourse discussion for it to not win
Bend
anything. So
rules.
why the fuck did you even
Bend
include it in
rules.
the first place? Like why?
You know,
I don't know.
It doesn't make
I don't know.
sense.
just so Jeff could make sure he said a standalone for the
Yeah.
spin-off.
It was,
Yeah.
I think was it more about just creating controversy yet again for your nominations because you want to talk.
I
Maybe you
mean,
want to
yeah,
talk
it's
to
good.
talk.
You know, it's like that age-old saying where it's like,
Yeah.
any buzz is good
Bad-
buzz or whatever.
any buzz.
Yeah,
no
it's like,
news is bad news.
no news is bad,
Yep.
right?
Or all news is good news. Whatever it is, yeah. It's like,
There's no bad press.
There's
Yeah.
no bad press. That's the right one. That's the right one.
So I guess
buzz is buzz. Yeah.
I think I'm the only one that's played this game still, right?
Astrobot, yeah.
Yeah.
But your take on it didn't leave me like this was game of the year material.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what I got from it.
And
well, Tony's a platformer. Like
I know, but
connoisseur
that's
here,
the point.
so-
Like this is game of the year.
yeah. So I mean, that's what I want to get into about, and it'll be a bit controversial, I'm sure, because don't get me wrong. Like, let me just start out by saying, Astrobot is a great game. If you own a PlayStation
I'm not taking
5,
away from that. Yeah.
I recommend that you play Astrobot at some point in time. That is the highest like recommendation I can give to a game. Like, do you own the platform that you could play this game on? Yeah, I do. Well, I recommend you play. Like, I cannot tell you anything higher than that. So that is how highly I think of this game. But again, in the grand scope of things, when I weigh it against other platformers, I'm like, okay, well, I'll flat out say like, it's not as good as any Super Mario 3D game that's been out this century, right?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. You said it like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Which is like my measure of like, okay, how good is this game, right? I'm like, would I play this over any of the Super Mario 3D-ish games? I'm like, no, I would rather play this. I even went back to Odyssey just to make sure it wasn't just like a, rose-tinted goggles or anything like that. It's tighter platforming. It's, better use of mechanics throughout like multiple levels and stuff like that. But again, that's unique, right? And I don't expect Team Asobi, who are fantastic. Again, it's a small development team. I think they're like less than 100. I think it was 70 last I looked. So it's an accomplishment. But to me, this just shows like the media bias where it's like, again, and so really quick, I will say the one guy that was speaking on behalf of the recipient of this award did shout out Nintendo / the Mario team and stuff like that, which I thought was very brave. First of all, it's like that's crazy.
I was gonna say this, but
yeah, he's like, I wasn't even gonna say this, but here you go. And he's like paying tribute to Mario for pretty much holding up platformers since they died out in popularity. So I'm not taking this against them at all. I don't want any heat going towards Asobi. It's just in terms of media that is invited to participate in these awards, it kind of feels like, where have you guys been the last 20 years, right? Where they're like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air and such creative use of blah, blah, blah platforming. And I'm like, did you not play Super Mario Sunshine? Did you not play Super Mario Galaxy 1? Did you not play Super Mario Galaxy 2? Did you not play Super Mario Odyssey? Did you not play Super Mario 3D World or 3D Land? Like, I can name so many fucking Mario platforms that are just 3D. I haven't touched 2D ones. And it's just like, oh,
Right,
all of a sudden PlayStation does it. It's like, oh.
But did those Mario
That's what I
games
got from that.
have cameos in them from other characters, from other worlds?
Didn't Mario Odyssey do that with like the hats? Not really cameos. but
No,
they just
I
made
mean,
them
in-universe
powers.
Yeah, I mean,
cameos.
yeah.
You went to
Yeah.
New Donk City and saw people talk about Donkey Kong.
Yeah, but they're in universe still.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I mean that. that's I feel like that in some ways it's just because it's old hat Mario. You know,
No,
you
no, yeah, I
expect it.
get, yeah,
That,
I would agree with that.
and honestly, Mario is kind of why the 3D platform space dried up. No one wants to compete, so it's just Mario, and no one wants to really try. And that's how it's been. So I can see why this feels like a breath of fresh air for them because you have a 3D platformer
It's
that's
not
not
Mario.
Mario that's
It's
gone.
not Mario. That's it. It's
Well,
just not Mario.
so like the
That's
thing is,
name.
there are other platformer games, right? I mean, Sony even has Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
that's
people
yeah.
loved. People
Nintendo
loved
still
that game.
has
Yeah.
Kirby. I mean, I talk really highly of that 3D Kirby game that came out 2 years ago. But it's just, and that's fine. Like, I agree with like it's probably like, oh yeah, like it's another Mario game. To me, it really is just like, holy shit, like I love this little Astrobot dude. It's like, yeah, I get it, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm just like him dressing up as other characters, like Little Big Planet did that too. So I'm just like, what do we like?
Yeah. What are we doing?
It's like what is it, the Ace Ventura, or not Ace Ventura, one of the Liar Liar. Where it's like, what are you talking about? Like, who? Like again, have you not played a Mario game and just like game of the year, game of the generation, and then they're talking like, oh yeah, like, and again, this is the media, not Team SOE or that, where they're like, oh, like, you know, they're not doing triple A like ultra realistic graphics or anything like that. It's like fun, it's colorful, it's playful. You know, it's inviting to children and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you think this is the only
Buzzing on
game that has done
nostalgia
this?
with all the
Well,
cameos.
Right?
Well, there wasn't a Mario game this year either.
It was like Yoshi
Maybe
games.
they
There
would've
was
won.
Princess Peach. Princess Peach was by Ari. But my stepdaughter still loves that game.
Yeah,
She's playing that.
there's
She's still playing
Peach.
that game.
Mario
Yeah.
Wonder was last year. Nobody, you know, and that was like a 92, I think, Metacritic, and I don't think it won anything other than Family Game Awards, which I've criticized. It felt like the Family Game of the Year award is like, it's like, oh, is it a Nintendo game? Like, there you go, like you win this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my personal take on that. I love Astrobot
Yep.
to death. I think it's a great game, but
right.
the media is
And that's
Just well, just like
Go on.
when the thing for me is like I think I haven't played it. I'm just assuming it's good because it got nominated. But then
Yeah.
you look at the games that it's compared to as well. Like that's what you got to look at. Because sure, it's a great platformer, and sure Mario's probably better, but there is no Mario game to compare it to this year, right? If let's say it came out when Odyssey came out, it
I
wouldn't
get
win,
that.
right?
But Tony's point is like the Mario games get ignored automatically because
Well,
they
no,
have
but you
Mario in the
have to
name.
look at what it's competing against in the year, and
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
my issue
well,
is that
Okay.
it's competing against a game that is, in my opinion, like far out doing way more,
Yeah.
like graphically,
Yeah.
gameplay wise, story wise,
I mean,
and
they built a new
like
world, new game. They built a new game.
well, yeah, and like mini games. It's you're getting to do so much more things
Yeah.
in that game, and so many
Yeah.
variety of things.
Mhm.
Like not
It
just
just
not
seems
just
like
doing the
Final
one thing.
Fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that game got disqualified apparently because it was a remake, which is stupid because we had to include
Oh no! So
DLC.
well, here's the other thing. What I think the bias that's more subtle that goes into games journalists. They don't like long games anymore. Because
Yeah, you know,
they can
absolutely,
cover so many
absolutely,
things.
agree, 100%.
And I think you know something that the average person, even enthusiasts like us who play like 10 new games a year.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true or not.
Yeah,
I don't
we
even
still
make
want
6.
spend-
I probably make 6, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. I'm
we
lower
still
than that.
want to. I
Yeah.
mean, all right, I'm more, but I still want to spend like a month on a game. They can't and don't want to. So when you have a game that's full of mini games and all this stuff that lasts a longer, they kind of don't like that anymore.
Yeah.
That's we've seen. This is kind of why Balatro they love, because they can like you can be the way the Balatro experience is you are real enthusiastic about it during your free time for like 5 days. You burn through it, and then after that you're like, whatever. I can play it, but I don't need to.
Yeah, the mechanic
And-
gets old a little bit with it. Yeah.
And to us that's like, all right, so that's not that great, but to them like, oh, this is the perfect game. And the same thing with Astrobot. I'm sure it's there. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a change of pace for them. They didn't expect it from Sony, but meanwhile, you know, yeah, we have part 2 of a 3
The artsy games. Yeah, the artsy games
here
are
that take forever for them, and they're just like,
Yeah, absolutely. And
Okay.
I mean, my understanding of the process too is that what it is, a lot of these people are really representatives of certain outlets, right? Like IGN or
Hmm.
not Game Informer, they're not around.
GameSpot or wherever they are. Yeah, go on.
But it's like when you ask the staff, like, "Hey guys, what should our nomination for Game of the Year go award?" Kind of like you're saying, like out of an entire staff, I would be surprised if even half of those people played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because it's 80-hour game, right? RPG part 2 of 3, right? Versus like Astrobot 10-hour, easy breezy. You could do that in a week, right? Whereas like all the staff probably played that game. So I absolutely agree. It's like we're talking about more like were people able to play it so they could be like, yeah, I played Astrobot. That's awesome. I didn't play these other games. Like, it's like, well, then why are you fucking voting? Why are you fucking voting?
It's really something. The more I've listened to like insider like podcasts in the last few years, they really, if there's a quirky shorter thing, they really go for it because they're just sick of the time sink games. And
even saw
we just
people
value
like
games differently.
Just copy other reviews because they don't have time to write their own.
Like,
We've seen that. We've seen it. So.
And I'm not saying any of that, and I'm saying this is really like almost subconscious. Like I'm sure they try to combat this too, like, but it's just different priorities when you want a game to fill like a month of space as a customer, normal customer, and when you have a weekend deadline to just bust out something for the engagement. You're like, oh, I don't want all this busy work. Jesus Christ.
Right, and the other thing is too is like depending on how long they're given, if they are reviewing it, right? Let's say like they're being paid to review Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, when it's like, hey, here's the copy 3 weeks early, beat the game by then, right? Or play enough of it to have
beat the game and write a review,
right? Right. So it's like they're feeling, crunched to do that, right? Because it's like, oh, I got to beat this game. So now it's it actually is their job. It's not like a leisurely experience like we're all doing, as in like, yeah, this is my free time. I want to do this, right? Now they're feeling like I have to do this because this is my job, and I feel that would take away from a longer game because it's like, I'm in hour 40 and I've got 30 more to go. Like it starts to feel very like you have negative feelings around that, right? Versus like again, short 10-hour game. It's like, oh man, that was a breeze. I love that. That was refreshing.
That's what we're getting with Indiana Jones.
And just to make sure. I'm happy you guys are enjoying Indiana Jones. Like everything you guys say, I'm just like, that does not sound like for me at all. Like, and I watched a little bit of a stream. I watched like an hour of a stream the other day, and I was like, okay.
I do fully expect it to be nominated for a bunch of things too. I do, because of that short gameplay. The short gameplay.
Gameplay.
12 hours.
Well, it won't be for next year. It's in this.
It'll be forgotten.
Time period.
It'll be forgotten about.
December games always get forgotten. Really,
it should be nominated. That's the idea. It's a criteria.
Well, I really think the Game Awards should be like how we do it.
A
month later, because it'd be interesting to see if Marvel Rivals also or Indiana Jones what it would have done in this context. But now these games are going to
in limbo. We're in limbo forever.
I will say, I think
Rivals might be ongoing next year. So
it'll definitely be ongoing next year because, man, like somebody posted like, hey, here's the 10-year like the Game of the Year award winners, and I look at that list, I'm like, oh, Overwatch. I'm like,
yeah.
If only we knew.
All right.
If only we knew.
All right, and that's gonna wrap up this.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to give out shout out to Jeff Keighley because I thought this show was actually really well done in terms of like just production, and there was no single celebrity that was just droning on forever or what seemed like forever and stuff like that.
Was really good.
The music was really good. They did, he talked about the industry. He had that guy that talked about like the that one new thing where like he was helping the one guy, community achievement,
I don't whatever.
Like that was really cool, and stuff like that. So, in terms of like listening to feedback and changing stuff, I think
he does
give him credit. No, I don't want to give him credit. I am a critic, but I will give him credit.
You knew going in there was not going to be a wrap it up.
Yeah, which is good.
Now there wasn't a whole lot of different awards that were given, and I don't know what the fuck Kojima talked about for so long.
Yeah,
I skipped through that.
I tuned out.
I don't know what he was talking about or why he was even whatever. But he picked and chose which awards were going to actually get presentations, but they were allowed to go what seemed like as long as they wanted to, which you kind of knew he had to do that this year after last year.
Yeah. And then last shout out, the Larian Studio CEO when he was presenting the Game of the Year award, him calling out pretty much the industry, saying that they only were able to do that game because people were passionate and able, given the time to do everything, it wasn't,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
when you have all the eyes, because that was the most amount of tune-ins, right? It's like, yeah, call them out.
Yeah, that was it was weird because it started out like it seemed like it was like an awkward joke about it's like, oh, I know the future. It's like, okay, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
So, cool.
But yeah,
All right, folks.
good.
That is going to wrap up this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great holiday season. We'll see when we can see you guys. Not sure when we're recording next in terms of obviously on Tuesdays, but the holidays fall on that right now. So we'll see what we're going to do. Stay tuned. Once again, we're on Twitch Tuesday nights 8 o'clock. Yeah, YouTube has all the other stuff. Subscribe. That way you get notified when we go live or when we post. We'll see you guys on the flip side. We're out.